Hello there and welcome to this video where we can have a nice, easy, simple introduction to Python, have a look at how Python code works, how it operates, and then my top tips for making Python code. So, as I previously said, we're going to be looking at what Python is, how it can be used, how you can read it, and then finally how you can make some Python code. So Python is a programming language. It is one of the most popular programming languages on the planet, and it is ridiculously versatile for what you want to be doing and what particular challenges, what particular things you want to be operating and running off with. So for example, there's many apps, video games, components of websites that you will use every single day. It uses Python to help generate that code. With Python, it is predominantly a command line programming language, but you can create graphical user interfaces with Python really easily. If you have a search on this YouTube channel for Tkinter, T-K-I-N-T-E-R, T-K-I-N-T-E-R, you can have a look at some of those videos there as well for how to create simple graphical user interfaces using Python. So what we're going to do here, we have got two examples of some Python code. If we have a look at the top left example, name equals input, what is your name? And then on the next line, print, nice to meet you, comma, name. So what this is doing is it is using a variable, it's creating a variable on the first line called name. And a variable is a piece of information that you're going to take normally from the user. And a variable is a piece of information that can change, a piece of data that can change, and it is stored somewhere within the computer's memory. So in this example, name is going to be worth whatever's put in, where it says input what is your name, print nice to meet you name. So in this example, name is going to be worth Mr. Rutherford-West. So we can see here we've done an input, Mr. Rutherford-West, we've pressed enter, and it says nice to meet you, Mr. Rutherford-West. If we look down at the second example as well, name equals input, what's your name, print nice to meet you name, that's not changed at all. What we've added are these two lines of code, age equals int input, how old are you, print wow you are really, comma age, comma, comma, comma name, comma question mark. So what this lets us do, let's break it down into little chunks. We've created another variable, this one's called age. And again, that is going to be stored somewhere in the system's memory. It's something that can change. And instead of having input, how old are you, we put int input, because whatever is going to get typed in is going to be a number. So we're having that int at the beginning is short for integer, so it lets Python know whatever's going to be input is going to be treated as a number. And then we've got the next print statement there, wow you're really age name. We can see on the right hand side how that really plays out. So here we can see what is your name, Mr. Rutherford-West, press enter, nice to meet you. And it says how old are you? At the moment, at the time of this recording, it's 36, but 19 days time that's going to change, and then it says wow you're really 36, Mr. Rutherford-West. So what we've got on this bottom line of code is an example for how we can create a customized message going back to the user by using the variables that's already been entered. Straight away some of you are going to think, whoa, there's too much going on. Let's break it down. First 4 lines of code, exactly the same as they were in the previous screen. What we've got here is now an if statement. If statements are conditional statements, and it looks for if something is true or false. So we've got here name equals input, what's your name, print nice to meet you name, age equals input, how old are you, no, wow you're really that age. If age is greater than 18, so if the number that gets entered in on line 3 is greater than 18, it's going to print did you know you're an adult. Else if the age is less than 5, so if we've entered, say for example 3, age isn't going to be greater than 18, so it's going to ignore that print statement, that first print statement there. If age is less than 5, we've entered age is 3, fantastic, don't you think you'd be watching Bing? If age isn't greater than 18 and it isn't greater than 5, it's going to print off wow that's a really cool age, right, that's a cool age. So we can see on the example on the left hand side, what's your name, Mr. Rutherford-West, nice to meet you Mr. Rutherford-West, how old are you, 36, and it tells me did you know you're an adult, because age in that instance is greater than 18. If we have a look at the bottom example, not Mr. Rutherford-West, I know that's a very original name, not Mr. Rutherford-West is 3, at which point the value of age, if we go through it, if age is greater than 18, no it's not, we'll go to the next one, and if age is less than 5, yes it is. Don't you think you should be watching Bing? And then on the right hand side, really not Mr. Rutherford-West, who is 14, because 14 isn't greater than 18 and it isn't less than 5, that's why it's printed off, that's a really cool age. So we can use if statements to look at numbers and make decisions of those numbers based on different true-false situations. So we could always only have true or false. We can be more specific with this, so we can, instead of saying greater than 18, did you know you're an adult? If someone's 18, they're an adult. So instead of having greater than, we can have greater than or equal to. And again, with the elif, I know some 5-year-olds who might watch Bing, who are my daughter's friends. We can say less than or equal to 5. So we can use if statements to look at different statements which are either going to be true or false, and then perform some form of action based on there. So this is something which I say to all my Year 10, Year 11 computer science students when we're making some Python code. 5 top tips from me that you'll need to do to make some successful code. Make a list of the variables you're going to use, so the bits of information you're going to be storing. Think about the functions you're going to be needing to use. So for example here we've got the function input, print, int, anything that's purple is a function. Write down any of the maths you'll be needing to use. So if you need to add anything together, multiply anything, make a note of that as well. Write down the logic you'll need to use. So if we're going to be using any if statements, if we're going to be using any loops, then start your programming. By doing these steps 1 to 4, you are doing something called algorithmic thinking. So you're taking some ideas and then we're putting it down stage by stage and thinking this is what's going to look like. We can then start planning our code and then we can start programming. So here we have got an example of a program that you could potentially create, times tables. Create a program that will produce the times tables for a number entered by the user, e.g. if the user enters 2, it should produce 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and you can see 3 times 2 is 6. So what I want you to do is quickly pause the video and make a list of the variables, functions, any maths, any logic that you'll need. Then we'll have a look at a potential solution, have a little chat, and then that'll be the end of the video. So pause the video and make a list of variables, functions, and any maths and logic, and then unpause the video and we will carry on. So this is a potential solution. It's not particularly efficient, but that will be saved for another video. Create a program that will produce the times tables for the number entered from the user. So I know straight away my one input, my one variable that I'm going to be using is number, and that's what's going to be entered by the user. And then you can see in the code that I've created, we've got the maths here, we've got the usage of commas so we can make the sentences appear. And again, this is all the stuff that I've looked on previous videos. So if we're seeing print 1 times comma number, comma equals, comma number times 1, that's all we're going to be needing. That's all we need to be seeing. And then we've got the solution from there. Because I knew I'd be needing input, I'm dealing with numbers, so I need input, I know I'll be needing print. So that's a nice, simple solution. Again, it's not particularly efficient. If you want to have a go at efficiency, have a look at the YouTube videos on here for while loops and see if you can make this code more efficient. But that's essentially all I did to solve this video. Solve this problem. Is make a list of the variables, the functions, worked out the math, didn't need any logic, and I got programming. So in this video, we have looked at what Python is, how to read some Python code, and top tips for making Python code. I hope it's been useful for you, and I shall see you later on. Bye bye.